Hello, guys. It's another super duper exciting edition of Enterprise Chat at MSME Africa. Today, I'm specially excited. I know Messi knows what I'm talking about, but then welcome you to Enterprise Chat here at MSME Africa. We're talking everything as it relates to business and entrepreneurs. So businesses and organizations, recently celebrated their customers and employees some weeks ago as part of the week-long customer service week celebration. I'm sure you saw a lot of businesses or organizations doing that. And as much as these businesses try to satisfy their customers, human dynamics can sometimes intervene and leave the client dissatisfied. However, we cannot dismiss the role of some service providers in failing to meet client expectations, and that's due to poor service. Dealing with irate customers is an important aspect of customer service and relationship management. You would agree with me. So today we'll have an entrepreneur with over 2 decades. I mean, 2 decades, that's over 20 years of hands-on experience in service provision. And she'll be speaking to us about her experience in effectively handling and resolving issues raised by dissatisfied or unhappy customers. It's good to have you on the conversation today, Yemisi Atobatele from YKG Farms. Good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's nice good to have you. YKG. Okay, quite a lot is making me smile this morning. I think I've been smiling so much. But then YKG, I want to understand what that is about. Just tell us briefly about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Yemisi Atobatele, and I am the founder of YKG Farms. Why? I'm only going to tell you about the Y there. The Y means Yemisi. The K and the
I should have thought of it.
The K and the G is exclusively known to me.
Okay. YKG, okay, but when you say YKG Farms, what exactly do you do? What agri sector are you focused on?
Okay, agri sector crops. We do plantain flour processing. We have a farmland where we cultivate plantains, and then we process the green plantains into plantain flour. That's all we do, basically.
Yeah, very much. Plantain flour are very, very much healthy, particularly for, the older people and people who are trying to maintain a healthy diet. You're really doing a good job. So you have 20 years of experience. Please briefly walk me through that experience.
In fact, it's over 20 years. Okay,
hey.
my first introduction to business was as far back as when I was in primary school. I was living with one of my relatives that had a business running, a very big one in Lagos. So that was when I was first introduced to business. I usually go, they actually sell plastics and all of that. So, I do the selling too to the customers. Customers will be like, this small girl. But then I will go to the factory. I'll go with the driver. We'll go and buy from most of these factories are owned by white people, investors in Nigeria. So I'll go there, negotiate with them, tell them whatever it is that I want to buy, then bring them back to the factory, to the shop, and we'll sell. I write receipts, I write invoices for customers. And thankfully, I have a very good handwriting. So they usually prefer me to write. They say, okay, MC, come and write receipt for this person. So I saw the way the things were doing, you buy for a price, you sell for another price, you make your profit. So that was it. So that's why I said it's over 20 years. I
wanted to say shout out to people like us that have beautiful writing.
Yes, so
okay, so now let's actually get into the conversation. You gained a lot of customers. You've been doing this, it has spanned over 20 years, like you've explained, and you gained a lot of customers or platforms. How did you get them to trust you enough? Because it's important. How did you get them to trust you enough to buy from you, despite the many stories of, we've seen stories of what I ordered versus what I got.
Okay, so my first online business, the first platform I sold was GG. Okay, so I just there and I got somebody reached out to me. For that very first customer, she had to say that she was going to pay on delivery, that she wasn't going to pay. She has had a lot of bad experiences. And thankfully, I was staying very close, not that far. I was in Ikoyi, she was in Lekki. And that very day I was bored. I said, okay, let me just stroll out. Even if she doesn't pay eventually, let me just try it. So that was my very first customer online. I've been selling offline. I've been telling people about my business in different places that I meet myself. But online, that was the first experience. That was 2019. But then after that experience, I got trained. I did some training. Then I started posting often, especially on my social media. And I started doing a lot of videos. I think that was what really helped me. I was showing my face that, okay, so if this person actually runs from us, we'll be able to show the world our face and that kind of it. And I think video marketing helps to build trust. So that was what really helped me. And yeah, that's it.
So, good enough, really. I know that a lot of vendors, a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs have had to deal with the issue of customer satisfaction or customer dissatisfaction. And that is one of the reasons we are having this conversation today. How do you approach, situations whereby your customer is visibly upset, like they are really, really angry and they are frustrated? Maybe sometimes some of the issues could result from these delivery guys. These logistic guys are something else. In fact, I've had a terrible experience with one of them. So how do you, handle such situations?
Yes, which is why you need to be emotionally intelligent as a business owner. You have to choose the kind of words you say. Thankfully, I've not really had much, actually, maybe because I know what to say per time, and which is more like apologizing and all of that. In fact, it happened like last week. They already picked up and they were supposed to deliver, and the person said they were shipping that product that very day. So she insisted that she wanted it. But unknowingly, the rider that picked up hasn't delivered. So I was just, normally it's my duty to check up and say, okay, I hope you got your product delivered in good condition. That's what I always ask people. So when she now told me no, I was mad. I was like, what happened? I had to quickly check up on the logistics company, and they told me, I said, at least when they told me probably the bike was malfunctioning or something, at least good communication was supposed to have happened. If they had communicated it to me, at least I would have gone back to the customer and said, this was what happened though. But then I think I just try to say good words to them. And it's not something that happen often. So I've had really wonderful understanding customers. I think probably maybe that's why. But I just try to apologize. I try to say to them that I'll make it up to them and all of that. So, and it's resolved.
I think that's good enough, honestly. Trying to see that you ensure that everything goes smoothly. Particularly, I just want to add, particularly with these logistics guys, we've heard of instances where you send a logistics person, you send somebody to deliver something for you, maybe food, and they end up eating part of it. Have you
I've
had
heard
such an experience, or probably they deliver to the wrong person?
it. Okay, I've had very few. The kind of product I sell is also edibles. It's just that you cannot eat it at the go. You have to prepare it, you have to cook it. I've had few, the one that was torn, probably the nylon was torn, and I just had to refund. I had to refund the money. This one was interstate. So the drivers refused to pick call. I even had to give him more money that just get this thing. But by the time we got to the owner, the nylon was torn, it wasn't handled very well. So I just refunded me. I don't want wala. I just gave back. That's a loss. But I will eventually keep my name. So another one was that I took it back and I refunded the logistics company didn't collect the money for the second delivery. So I just said, you people you just have to take charge of it because I can't pay twice and also lose product in the end. So that was what happened. but it doesn't happen often.
No. Okay, so you've also spoken about, trying to apologize and managing the situations, but are there specific strategies that you use to actively listen to customers, their complaints, their concerns, their feedbacks? This is important, right? I want you to provide like an example of, a time when your active listening skills was particularly helpful.
Okay, I call. Mostly I send messages to customers on a regular basis, but sometimes I call. Very few times I make calls. So when there was a particular customer, when I called her, she's a very regular customer for years now. When I called her, she now explained, okay, my product is plantain flour. If it is not properly stored, it can be infested with what's it called? Weevils. So she said she saw weevils and all of that. I said, most my products are usually freshly milled. I hardly have old stock. Hardly, maybe in 2 months. So I regularly produce. So when she now said, I had to listen to her. She said, the kokoro yen ti poju and all of that. I said, no, where did you store it? Okay, this is what you are going to do. Store it this way, get a Ziploc, store it, and probably check for other food items in the pantry or something. Probably the weevils are around there that were able to get into the flour. But the weevils are not from us, because when we sell, weevils are bound to happen to plantain flour and foods generally that are old, like that have been produced for a long time. So, I just had to speak with her like that. And yeah, she was able to, she was happy, and she was satisfied.
I like the fact that you've spoken about this scenario where, weevil infested product or whatever, which was not even from your end. So how about a situation whereby, the customer's complaint is valid, right? A customer calls and a customer's complaint is valid, but then your company's policy is limiting what you could do to resolve it. Maybe, there are some companies that say there's no refund. There are places where you order online, they'll tell you no refund. You understand?
Mm.
What exactly can be done in that instance? Have you had
Ah, I've not me, I've refunded once or twice. Oh. I've mentioned it before. We don't have a policy of no refund, because especially if the unsatisfied, if the situation is from us, if it was us, from us, so we get to the root of, but it's very rare. It's very, very rare. That is why I ensure that our packaging are very, very tight. Like, package it very well to ensure that there's no such thing. So we do refund when necessary. Okay, there was an instance that the woman wanted some products. She wanted to share them, and we couldn't get it to her on time. I was already opting for refund. She was the one that said no, that in fact she got angry that why will I say I want to refund when she has paid. I said, these customers. I said I want to refund. You say you don't want to refund, that I must get the product to her and
What do
all
you know
of
about
that.
Wahala?
Me, I don't like it at all. I don't like, I've tried my best. I usually try my best. Okay, it was the delivery, it was the logistics too that caused the issue. So that very issue, I had to call on somebody. I eventually got a way around it, but the product got to her very, very late. But it was that particular day, at least it didn't exceed our target or something.
So I think for you, on this is just by the side. I think for you, companies that are having issues based on logistics, how about you consider like an in-house, logistics, probably get bikes or bike men in-house that can do delivery for you.
I used to have. Getting a bike for ourselves as a company, and we'll get there. We haven't gotten there yet. Of course, we'll get there.
Because this logistics thing is this
Yeah, we will get
logistics.
there. It's something I'm working on.
I know
But
it's a very serious thing. This logistics thing is really, really serious, and
very serious.
lots of
Very,
people
very.
have had so much issues with
Ah.
logistics guys. They really need to do better. So now let's also, look at an instance where the customer's issue is urgent, right? And you know that it requires a system reset or it would take longer. How do you balance a quick fix solution which with no need to resolve the customer's issue quickly? Do you understand?
Okay. If the customer's request is urgent,
Exactly. And
I'm
you know
not
that
getting
this
that quickly.
thing
Okay, it's
requires
gonna take time.
processes. It requires processes. But then the
Mm.
customer says, I want it now, 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 now. How do you balance?
No.
Because sometimes these are the reasons some clients or customers are not satisfied.
Mm. I will tell them it's not possible. Me, I don't know how to. I will tell them, like, I'll be truthful. Me, I don't usually lie. Oh. There's some, like, I tell them truthfully. I said no, it's not possible. If this is what you want, this is when you are going to get it. If it's not okay, this is why you will get it at this time. I will explain that this is why you are going to get it at this time. So it's not like I'm not trying to make it available, but because
So
of this.
yeah,
Okay.
let me quickly ask this exciting question. I know that we've spoken about it a bit, right? Talking about when sometimes the mistake comes from you, the seller, right? Maybe there's an error of omission or whatever. I have actually heard of caterers that forgot they were supposed to cook for an event. There was a woman that came to church and she gave testimony that she did not know the event was that day. She was supposed to make moi moi or something. Like she just woke up and was like, what? Today is so day. And there are situations like that. Obviously, the food might get there late. She'll probably apologize. So I don't know, probably while you were starting out, while you were still growing, you've done over 20 years here, and that's quite huge. But maybe when you were starting out, were there like some particular challenging, situations where
Mm.
you made a mistake? How were you able to handle that mistake and fix it?
I really can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember any. I can't remember any right now. I'm trying to. No, I
I
can't.
get
I
you
can't.
because I've heard of situations where maybe cake vendors make some mistakes and quite a but I think for your kind of business it might be
Mm,
rare. Yours is
mm.
to just process, package,
Process,
seal,
package.
deliver.
Mm,
It's not exactly so. Yeah. So now let's say they say rules of marketing. There are two rules of marketing. The first is that customer is always right. And the
mm.
second is that even when the customer is wrong, remember rule number one, which means customer is
Mm.
always right.
Right.
Now, in the sense where you have an aggressive customer, I don't know if I should use the word aggressive. Sometimes some people can be funny, right? So
Mm.
how do you maintain your composure? How do you stay professional when your customer is rude?
I don't respond because I can be very angry too, honestly. So I don't respond. I just look away. So when I'm
Mm.
more calm, then I respond. Something happened recently. I sent some products to Canada, sometimes around June. That product gave me stress because I was not in Lagos, so I couldn't really monitor it. I had to spend extra to make sure the person gets it to the shipping company. So that alone was even annoying. But I said, okay, let me just satisfy these people because of the timeline that they have. So eventually, when it got to Canada, like 2 or 3 months later, they said they were complaining about me not having stickers and they bought in bulk. And selling in bulk means you are reselling and you have probably your own brand name that you're going to add to it or something. So that was my initial thoughts. And this person started saying, yeah, she bought on somebody's behalf. Why didn't I have this? Why didn't I do this? She sent all the messages through WhatsApp, no, WhatsApp, IG, and that very day, I'd been, I move a lot. I was very tired. As she was sending those messages, I was very angry. I said, you are the one who you were supposed to specify. Okay, my bad was that I didn't ask. But I just assume I deal a lot with people who resell. And once I just sell to them, they brand it by themselves. They don't bother asking me. If you want me to brand it for you, you're supposed to tell me. But you didn't
Exactly.
tell me. But anyways, I just kept quiet. I didn't answer. I didn't reply. I was just seeing those messages. I wasn't replying. So when I was more calm, I had to send her a voice note. I apologized. I said, okay, probably I'm sorry that I didn't ask because I assumed an assumption is wrong. So, she too, she was not like, I said, okay, the way out is that if you see people coming to Nigeria, to Canada, I have stickers. Yes, sticker is not a problem. I will give it for free. Like, I'm not even going to charge for extra. That I'm going to give them. And it's not something that has weight like that. So, and she said, okay. And that was it. I didn't even bother asking her anything till date. So, and she said she was going to get back to me. So I'm still waiting for her response. So in times like that, you just keep your cool. It's not okay to be exchanging words. No, it's not. Even with people normally, I'll just keep quiet. I'll just be looking at you, except probably if there is a need for me to talk. But customers, I've never exchanged words with them. If
So
you,
in essence, you're saying that customers are always right.
yes, they're always right to some extent. Yeah, maybe they are not always right, but then just make them feel like they're right. Just
Just
make them feel
make
like they're
them
right.
feel that they are. Anyways,
That,
that summarizes what I said. I know it's important to document your interactions, your feedback from your clients, from your customers, a lot of complaints, people can come. It might not even be complaints alone. It might be review, it might be suggestion. So what steps do you take in, documenting these interactions and feedback? Because some days ago, a friend of mine sent a feedback to a company, a big one. They make pastries and food. I don't want to mention the name. And the sausage roll was half filled. It was half filled. I don't know. I think it's the situation of the country right now. But then I wonder that is it that they do not work on the feedbacks that they are getting from clients? Because why do you have to keep doing this same thing? So how do you document all of these complaints, the feedback? How do you use this information, to improve your own customer service skills and the overall customer service experience?
yes, I use them well. Okay, now recently I changed my I kind of rebranded, and it was a customer that suggested it to me. She was like, the colors are not. She said she was in, what do they call it? Media, whatever, whatever. That's so she said the colors are not all that attractive. That if I
Okay.
can walk around the color matching and all of that, and I took it. I thanked her, and she bought from me normally, but she just mentioned it, and I worked on it. And so I rebranded like about 2, 3 months ago. So I take them. I don't really, there was a time that also I had issues with the people that were working with me. They don't package well, exposure and all of that. So I worked on them, honestly. I did. And I appreciate them. That's why I usually ask for their honest feedback. That's what I tell them. I said, tell me your honest feedback. Don't tell me feedback to make me feel good. Tell me, okay, where am I supposed to improve on? Where am I getting it right? Where am I not getting it right enough? And I work on them. That's what I do.
I like your approach to things. I like how you deal with your customers. I like how you deal with the business. I like how you are managing affairs. Even the people that the whole value chain, the whole chain, logistics and all. I love the approach that you are taking to it. But let's talk about the situation of the economy now, because sometimes when you speak of customer satisfaction, there is so much that people expect from a seller, from a business owner, and they do not understand that there are some factors that might be limiting what they can give. Inflation right now is at 25.8%. How
Mm.
are you dealing? The cost of production, cost of raw materials, how are you coping with all of these?
I inform them beforehand. I do. I recently increased my prices. We are all in Nigeria, so everybody should understand. Yeah, everything has increased. So I just inform them ahead. Okay, due to this, and this, so it's just communication, and a lot of them understands. Honestly, even new people that are coming, there, people that are very, very understanding. So, we are all in the economy together. We are bearing the brunt together, every one of us. Nobody is exempted. Cost of everything is high. So definitely, I just informed them. That's good communication. I just informed them. I sent
Mm.
messages to them ahead, and I tell them I give them the current prices of things. So we just have to keep the business going. If you say you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you run out of business. And so that's it.
I like I like the way you left the conversation talking about good communication. I think a lot of the wars that we've had to fight in the whole human race may have been avoided if there was good communication. Now
Exactly.
imagine customer relations, how you value that they are seeking. Good communication very important. Thank you so much for joining us on Enterprise Chat today. It's been an amazing time talking to you. Honestly, I wish we could continue this conversation. Looking at dealing with dissatisfied customers, the tactics and tips with Yemisi Atobatele from YKG Farms. I'm reminding you guys, she said the Y is Yemisi, the KG, she's keeping it to herself. So, but
All
before
right,
we
thank
go,
you.
before we go, I'd like you to drop your final words. Is there any other thing you might want to add?
Okay. Well, uh, as a business owner, just know that you cannot satisfy all your customers. Do your
Mm.
best. Do your best. Communicate well. Communication is a big thing, honestly. I was still dealing with one guy. Okay, I'm getting some cartons from him to package some of the things that I'm selling. And it's the first order. In fact, his communication alone, I was asking for a refund because I was like, why would you do this? I'm a business owner. I won't say these things to my customers. So please, as a business owner, be emotionally intelligent. Learn when to keep quiet. If you are angry and if you are being offended by whatever your customers are saying, don't say anything. Silence, nobody will hold you by what you say. Just be quiet. With time, you will know what to respond with. Yeah, and then communicate well. Yeah, I think that will be
Wow,
all.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Like you said, I think I need to advise everybody. You cannot satisfy everybody as much as we're talking about customer satisfaction, but you cannot satisfy everybody. You are not jollof rice. Everybody jollof rice anyway. So we've got to the end of today's Enterprise Chat. It's been an amazing time with me, Ara Nimi. Thank you all for joining. Don't forget, you can connect with us on our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at MSME Africa. Until we see you next time, it's goodbye from here.